Assalamu alaikum family, welcome to the Campaign TV show. I am your host, Brother King Cam, and I want to jump right into tonight's topic. Stay with me. And tonight I want to talk about an incident that happened today in South Carolina where a Caucasian woman was arrested for screaming racial slurs and assaulting young black male teens at a community pool. She was then arrested and upon being taken into custody, assaulted police officers and was still released home on bail. Now, as you know, if that would have been a black or brown person that came in contact with police, normally there are only two outcomes that come from that. Either death or physical harm. Again, I say, anytime a black or brown person comes into contact with law enforcement, it's either two outcomes, death or physical harm. Now, this is the article that the Washington Post posted that refers to the incident. So we're going to talk about this a little bit, read it, and go into the details of it. It says, police say woman screamed racial slurs and smacked a black teen at a pool. She lost her job. Isn't that ironic? She just loses her job after she assaults somebody, screams racial slurs at them, and then furthermore assaults the police. But we're going to read further. It says DJ Rockamore Simmons and his friend hadn't even managed to dip their toes in the pool before a screaming Stephanie Sebi, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, Strempel was out of the water and in their faces, shoving DJ in the chest, telling the boys they didn't belong and ordering them to leave. Get out, get out, get out now, she yelled before threatening to involve the authorities. There's 3 numbers I can call 911. I'm going to stop right there because this just highlights the white privilege that white folks exercise when it comes to dealing with black people and when they are threatened and by our presence and don't want us around. So they call their buddies, with this, which is the 911 boys, that's their brothers. They call them to come have backup. But see, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to study the white man. See, so the same unity that they use with the 9/11 backup and how they unify when they want to get rid of black people is exactly how we need to unify in order to save our communities. But I'm going to go further. There was no time for them to tell her or anyone else that they were guests of a neighborhood resident. No time to phone parents, but the 15-year-old did manage to pull out a cell phone camera recording the belligerent woman in the poolside encounter that turned him into the latest victim of Living Wild Black. Hashtag Living Wild Black. But the lens in Sebi Strempel's face seemed to anger her more. She struck the 15-year-old in the chest, then at least twice in the face as he walked towards the exit, police say. She called him little punks and used racial slurs. The boys left without retaliating, even saying yes ma'am to Sebi Strempel, who could not immediately be reached for comment Monday. But DJ's parents were incensed when they saw the video. Family members posted it on Facebook where it became instantly viral. Then they called the Dorchester County, South Carolina Sheriff's Office. See, so here it clearly shows that she is very comfortable with disrespecting people in general, but black and brown people, because once they put the camera on her, she decided that she was going to physically assault the young brothers by striking him in the chest and then twice in the face as he tried to walk away. And then she called them names. Wow. This is crazy. Investigators think the video and the witness statements were enough to charge the woman with third-degree assault. Third-degree assault. You slapping people in the face, but it's third-degree assault. The police report deems it an unprovoked assault and says the Sebi Strimple is clearly the aggressor in the assault, even going as far as to continue to assault the victims as he was walking away from her. Investigators say the woman was also the aggressor when they attempted to put her in handcuffs. She became physically aggressive when officers showed up at her home to arrest her. She pushed one into a wall, injuring his knees, the report says. Then she bit the other detective's arm, breaking his skin. Hold up, wait a minute. So after she physically aggressed the young boys at the pool, she went home. The authorities deemed that she was the aggressor, said they would press charges on her for third-degree assault, go to her house to arrest her. She becomes physically aggressive with the officers, push one of the officers into a wall, injure his knees, report says. Then she bit the other detective's arm, breaking the skin. And she's still alive to tell her story. And was released on bail, which we'll read later on in this article. But was released on bail to go home. Now, my brother Philando Castile was sitting in the vehicle with his girlfriend and child in the backseat and was gunned down by the police. Our brother Eric Gardner was on the street minding his business and was choked out by the police in a vicious chokehold. Our brother Alton Sterling was selling CDs in front of the corner store that the store owner had gave him permission to do and was gunned down by the police. Our brother Walter Scott was running away from the police and was gunned down. Our young brother that is on the front of the final call, which I will show y'all a little later on, was gunned down by the police while he's running away from them. But this lady, this white lady, beats up black boys at the pool, calls them all type of racially charged names, gets physical with the police, physically is aggressive with the police, and was ultimately arrested and released on $65,000 bail, the beginning of a court process that could stretch on for weeks and months. Now, do you see the hypocrisy in this? I hope you black folks are watching this. I hope you black folks are watching and looking at this, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us this will happen. When we continually disobey his divine guidance and seek separation from our open enemy, and rather seek to integrate with our open enemy, then Allah is bringing judgment and angering our open enemy and filling them with hate towards us so fiery that it's manifesting itself in them on a daily basis now. And he's making it so that the enemy is so disgusted with the shadow of us that they're doing any and everything to keep us away from them. And we continue to seek integration. It's really sick on our parts, instead of just submitting to the will of God and separating in a land that we can call our own. But millions who saw the video online had already rendered judgment. On Twitter, she had been deemed Pool Patrol Paula, joining Permit Patty and Barbecue Becky in the sorority of women who have confronted black people who have done nothing wrong and found themselves transformed into memes and Twitter jokes. Black Twitter is undefeated. I'm going to say that again. Black Twitter is undefeated. Don't let something go viral and hit Twitter, because they are on it fast. And like, they already deemed her Pool Patrol Paula. I mean, I just want to know who comes up with these hashtags, because they really be on point with the hashtags. Reading on further though, and somehow word got to Roden Fields, a multi-level marketing company that specializes in skincare products, and for which Sebi Strimple worked on a contract basis. Okay, so it got to her job. We do not condone violence of any kind and pride ourselves on embracing inclusion and acceptance of all, the company said Thursday, adding that it was reaching out to Sebi Strimple to reiterate our corporate values. That conversation did not apparently go well for the South Carolina woman. In a statement to the Washington Post, the company said it had terminated Sebi Strimple's contract and that she was an independent contract and not an employee. So this right here is the person tweeting her company that she worked for on a contractual basis about what happened with her. It says, is Stephanie Stevie Shrimple the quality of employee that you employ on a regular basis? Her racist behavior towards this black young man is abhorrent. And the U.S. Coast Guard, this is one of your fam too. Is this acceptable behavior for a military wife? You should see the video, and it gives the link to the picture in the video, and it gives the response of her company. We do not condone violence of any kind and pride ourselves on embracing inclusion and acceptance of all. Please note, this person is not a Rodan and Fields employee, but an independent contractor. We're reaching out to this individual to reiterate our corporate values, which is corporate slang that we're reaching out to go ahead and give her the pink slip. At a court bond hearing last week, her attorney said more information about what transpired will be forthcoming. With regard to the assault on a minor charge, we're not terribly concerned with it, but we'll say there are certainly more than one side of the story on that charge, said Sebi Strimple's legal representative to the bond court judge, according to Charleston, South Carolina, NBC affiliate WMC Action News. In court, DJ's mother, Deanna Rockamore, said the attack was racially motivated and never should have happened. No child, including mine, or anybody else's, ever deserves that type of abuse or treatment, Rockamore said, according to WMC Action News. And to be struck not once, not twice, but 3 times by someone that is upset because of the color of someone's skin, and they don't belong at their swimming pool. I'm going to stop right there, because what we have to understand, and what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, and what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is teaching us and has been trying to deliver to us, in which the white man was created. See, we keep getting surprised by this behavior. We keep being surprised by the direct abuse that is being handed towards us from our open enemy. See, they are open enemy for a reason, and that is the exact nature in which they have been created. See, murder, lies, and deception is what they have been, what it was in their very DNA. So with that being in their very DNA, this type of behavior is not out of the character of them. But see, we as black folks have not been educated properly on their nature. So we become surprised, and we make statements like this mother said, that says that this was a racially motivated incident and should never have happened. Oh no, it happened because she didn't want you black people at the swimming pool. And that's because white folks is sick of black folks being at their footstool, begging them for jobs, justice. You understand? So we have to understand this. We have to start taking heed to divine guidance that we have among us in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm going to continue reading finish up here where it says, recent incidents of black people going on about their lives and being unfairly targeted by suspicious or downright antagonistic white people who criminalize, I can't pronounce this other word right here, innocuous actions have been widely shared on social media. The latest incident is part of an ever-expanding list of things you apparently shouldn't do while black. Going to the gym, shopping for underwear, couponing, even going to Seaside Overlook to read a book about Christianity. The most recent viral stories have involved children. In late June, someone called the police on a 12-year-old Reggie Fields as he made a few extra summer vacation dollars by mowing a neighbor's yard. A few weeks after that, an 8-year-old selling cold water to passerby was approached by a white woman who pretended to call the police on her for selling without a permit. The girl was trying to help her family pay for a trip to Disneyland. So as outlined in this article here, there are multiple incidents where white folks feel entitled to have black folks removed. And see, what we have to understand is this is the wicked slave master's children we are dealing with. I'm gonna say that again. This is the wicked slave master's children that we are dealing with. See, so when you understand that you're dealing with the children of devilish and wicked people, then you see these incidents not as a surprise, but as something to be expected as long as we want to integrate with them. All of this is written. All of this is written just like the Hebrew Israelites trying and being pushed out by Moses, but wanting to stay with Pharaoh. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that the history that is in Bible and Quran is really written 25,000 years in advance. So now we are walking through those very scriptures with those very same pieces that were prophesied about through the prophets, all the Israelite prophets, and the last prophet in Muhammad ibn Abdullah. You understand? So when you have this type of stuff going on, it just shows us. It just speaks again the truth, the power, the wisdom, and the guidance that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has, and what he's been telling us, and how far ahead his thinking is, and how aligned it is with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's thinking, and saying that we have to separate because we have not been able to get along in harmony, in peace with white people for 465 plus years, which is a fact. 100% actual facts. And it's even more prevalent because this is not just me saying this, Brother King Cam saying this, or the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan saying this, or black people saying this. White people have said this. Abraham Lincoln has said this. Thomas Jefferson has said this. Big presidents. George Washington have said this. And they have known all along since the formation of this nation that the deeds that they were a part of in enslaving the original people, the indigenous people, the native people of the lands of the earth, and most wickedly in America, and most harshly in America, where they took the black man and woman from the continent of Africa and brought them to the wilderness of North America to help build the greatest nation in the last 6,000 years, which is called the United States of America. They knew that their deeds had to come back on them. They knew that the treatment of their slave would have to come back on them. They knew that God's judgment would not rest forever. They knew that. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, they wrote these words. And they knew that. And some of them wanted to go ahead and separate. I believe it was Thomas Jefferson that said that the black American, black African Negro needed to separate, and that they needed to provide provisions for us. The minister goes over this in his lecture at the Holy Day of Atonement last year, 2017, in Newark, New Jersey, by the way, at the Separation to Death lecture, where he goes in depth into that. And it just shows that the wickedly wise in high places are very aware of the judgment that is now coming on them right now because of this very thing. So what we are seeing now is the manifestation of Scripture. And that we are being bitten, black people that still want to integrate, we are being bitten by fiery carcasses that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has explained to us as taught to him by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is angry white people. So that's what you see in these incidences where the police are being called on us for having a barbecue by the white lady. The police are being called on us for selling waters, trying to make some money to go to Disneyland. to see a big rat and to see some white princesses. Yes, no disrespect to anybody that take their kids to Disneyland to have a good time and experience a good time. But we were breaking down the truth of the matter. You're going to see Mickey Mouse. He's a big rat. And as much as black folks don't like rats, and we talk about somebody snitching on this person, somebody snitching on that person, but you're taking your kids to see a big rat and some white princesses. So that's just the truth of the matter. But anyway, I digress. You know, they're calling the police on us for going to community pools, going golfing, you understand, reading books in Starbucks, being in Waffle House. It's time to separate. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we don't need to go where we not wanted. If they don't want you in Starbucks, fine, don't go to Starbucks. They don't want us in Waffle House, fine, don't go to Waffle House. Build your own breakfast restaurant that sell food that's not trying to kill us, that has no genetically modified organisms in it, GMOs. Build your own coffee shop. Well, you don't have to worry about going to their coffee shop crosstown. But we are so entrenched and so dedicated to making white folks love us because we got that type of heart as being the direct descendants of God. So we have that amount of love for people no matter what they do to us, that it has blinded us to the guidance that God has left for us and given to us through the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So this is just another testimony of how wickedly evil the white folks can be. And this is not a generalization of all white people, because we have some white people that do try to do good deeds. Now, this is not taking them out of their nature, because they are born in the nature. So just because you do a good deed doesn't mean that your nature is good. Let me clarify. King Cam is saying that right now. Because you do a good deed does not mean that you are born in good nature. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that we are born righteous. See, the original black nation is born righteous. And we didn't become other than that until we were introduced and reared up by our slave masters, by the slave masters and their children. See, we didn't start to get into their wicked ways, into their Eurocentric behavior, into their lifestyle, into their thinking, into the thinking of Satan and becoming little black devils until we were reared by them. Yes, black folks can be devils. We definitely can be that, as you can see right now in our own communities when we killing each other and mutilating our own bodies by drug use and alcohol use and abusing our women and things of that nature. So you see us being devils. That is 100% accurate, and we have to get our stuff together. But there's always been a hidden hand and a hidden agenda to that behavior. And that is the Caucasian, who has had every prophet sent to them. All of the Israelite prophets were sent to them. See, what we don't understand about Scripture is that Scripture was not about us at that time. See, at that time, those prophets were sent to white people. They weren't sent to me and you. They weren't sent to black folks. See, God was trying to civilize and refine the devil. He was trying to raise up the beast. You understand? And as you saw, through all of the Israelite prophets and the Ishmaelite prophets, it could not be done. And this is why we're taught in the Nation of Islam that everything submits to the will of God except the rebellious devil. And this is why he has earned that name, because he has proven through his history that he cannot be changed. So, brothers and sisters, there you have it. You know, we have another situation like this that has occurred with our black youth. In particular, as you can see, this story occurred with some young black brothers at the community pool. The story prior to that was the 8-year-old selling waters. You understand? The Waffle House incident had a couple of youth involved in it. So you see there's a concentrated attack on the youth. Concentrated attack on the youth. So that's why we, as activists and fighters for humanity and builders of our community, have to concentrate on the youth. We have to have a concentrated effort on the youth because it's on us. We have to be the ones to provide the jobs. We have to be the one to help mold their creative minds and their entrepreneurial spirit into positive production. We have to be the ones to do that because we understand what their thinking is, and we can't come and condemn them for their behavior because they're using their powers for wickedness. No, what we have to do is we have to go in and we have to teach them, we have to mold them, and we have to help them use those powers for good. You can't take a drug dealer that was making $1,000, $2,000 a week and put him in a job making $8 to $10 an hour because he's not going to relate. So we have to be able to translate his creative skills, his creative mind, the mind that God gave him, and how to make that $1,000 a week, which is not hard. We just have to break down the math. You understand? So this is why it's so important, ladies and gentlemen, family, that we go after our youth and that we take on the responsibility that we all need to be on the front lines and we all need to be out here trying to be that change that we want to see in the future. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all enjoyed this message. There's going to be more videos coming soon. More news, more things in our community, more promotions, productions, things that we got going on. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at Brother King Cam. You can also tweet me at Bro King Cam. You can also find me on Facebook at King Cam. And you can also like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel Campaign TV, where we have black love, black business, black support, hip-hop, music news there for you. It's going to be more and more stuff coming out. I appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful night. Assalamu alaikum, which is in Arabic language, means peace be unto you. Y'all have a wonderful night. Peace. Mwah.